Hi friends, tracy.bish here, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Australia. Welcome to week 1, project 2 of the Halloween Spectacular for the next few weeks. I'm super excited to be here with you today sharing another project. Now, this is the second project this week, and we did a 3D project earlier in the week. Today we're going to be doing a card. So this one is a really simple card. It's using that beautiful DSP, the Iridescent Treat Bags, which is part of the Spooky Halloween suite, and I'm also using the stamp set Spooky Halloween. So I just wanted to bring these in and show you. I'm using the 2 bundles in the Halloween section of the online exclusives, all for all my projects over the next 5-6 weeks, however long it goes for. Depends on when I actually finish creating, and I've got 5 weeks now, but I might do another one. I'm not really sure. But anyway, this is the stamp set. These are the Iridescent Treat Bags, which are amazing. They come in a pack of 20, and they make perfect little gifts. But look at the Halloweeny holographic-like look, which is like purples and pinks and oranges. Really special little treat bags. And I'm also featuring this beautiful die cut piece from the Spooky Suite 12x12 specialty paper. You get 2 sheets of this in your pack, and it is gorgeous. So we're heavily focusing on this because I wanted to be able to create a card mainly using the DSP, which, you know, you could really get away with just buying this DSP and creating a lot of your projects and cards for your Halloween treats and cards using this beautiful paper. So yeah. All right, let me show you the card that we're going to be creating today. It is this one here. So before we get started, I just wanted to say hello, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. If you're watching live, I'm going to be in the chat section conversing with you. So please talk to me as we go. I can answer any questions you might have, or you know, I have been missing the community a little bit. So I really hope that my regulars that used to watch my lives regularly will come on, and, you know, we'll get to still have a little bit of, you know, a good time with this spooky Halloween season. So here is the card. Look at that background. Now this is that beautiful treat bags, iridescent treat bags that we're using. Gives this great effect. Now I didn't come up with this idea. I did see it on Facebook, I believe, where someone had done this. So it's not my idea, but I thought it looked so good and would make a great card background. And using that DSP for the die cuts would work really well as well. So that's the card, and then we have a nice little inside piece that we're going to stamp as well. Okay, so to get started with, we do have a piece of A4 cardstock that's been cut in half, scored in half, so we have a top folding card. I'm just going to grab my bone folder and give that a quick burnish. So let me know in the comments, did you see the first project? So this is the card project. I had a 3D project also, and I'm just wondering, did everyone see that? And what did you think of it? I've got so many great little projects and cards over the next 5 or 6 weeks, and you are going to love them. So we also have 2 pieces of white cardstock. I probably should have wrote that down. 3 7/8 by 5.5, and that's going to go inside my treat bag, so it folds in nicely. There is a little bit left over, which we're just going to be able to adhere the back of it, and keeps it all nice and neat. So that's that little piece there. And then for the inside of the card, I've got another piece of basic white, which measures 3 3/4 by 5.5. So just a nice little piece for the center. Okay, so we're going to start off with creating this little background. As you can see, I've placed my basic white piece in, and I'm going to grab my heat tool here. And all we're going to do is we are going to melt that in. It's going to make it all bumpy and raised and shrink it in a little bit too. I don't know. I don't really know what the wording is, but it gives it a great effect. So we're going to do that. So just with my heat tool here, I've got it on setting 2. And you're going to want to be really careful with your hand placement. This is plastic, so it can get hot. I didn't burn myself last time, so I'm hoping I don't do that this time either. But you can see that really has that effect on the plastic. You might want to do this in a well-ventilated area as well. We are heating up plastic, which is not good. But I love the effect that this gives it. I did take a couple of minutes to do when I did my sample card. See how it bunches up and gives it a great effect. And I do love with the white backing on the inside, really makes that colour stand out perfectly as well. I did both sides on my sample card, but you know, we might get away with just doing one side. So, with my hand placement here. This reminds me of, remember back in that, I think it was the 80s, I was in primary school, and we used to take our chip packets from the canteen or the tuck shop home, and we'd put them in the oven at home and melt them, and they would go down really small, like that Shrinkies, I think it's called now, you can buy. This is sort of what it reminds me of, but it doesn't shrink too bad. I actually really like that effect, so I think that should be good. Doesn't get overly hot, so that's good. I've left the back. I think that'll be fine. We don't really need to do both sides, but I do want to pop this over and add some tape down to keep that down nice and tight. So I'm just going to use some tear and tape, my go-to, and just secure that down. Like I said in the sample, I did both sides. You want to make sure that there's not too much air in there either. Otherwise it's going to stick up on your card. Perfect. All right. I'm going to add that down to my card base. And I can see that little bit is sticking out just from the side. So I'm just going to do a little miter cut there on both sides, and that'll get rid of any excess piece. Probably didn't do that good of a job sticking that down with my tear and tape, but it'll be fine. We are going to add a little bit more tear and tape. Or did I use... You know, definitely use tear and tape. You could pop this up as well if you wanted to use your dimensionals. I want to make sure that this stays down because we are, you know, adhering plastic down. Plastic doesn't usually have a very good strong hold. There's 20 bags in this, so, you know, I don't know, unless your area that you live in, you do a lot of trick-or-treating. I live in an area where no one trick-or-treats because we're very rural. And we actually, hang on, I was going to say we don't even have any kids in a town, but just thinking we've got two very little ones. No, three very little ones. Under the age of 3. One that is in lower primary. And I think that's it. That's it for the town. A lot of oldies. So definitely no trick-or-treating in our area. Okay, so I've got my adhesive down. I'm going to make sure that there's a nice little barrier all the way around, or a matting piece. So it's nice and even. And pop that down. How great does that look? It's a great little detail. Alrighty, so we have that done. Let's stamp the inside before we decorate the front, and I've got my inside piece. I'm going to need the Happy Halloween as well as those bats, and that is from that Spooky Halloween stamp set. This one here, probably my favorite. I do love the dies in both sets though, they're unreal. Petunia Pop is the one we're going to use. And I'm just going to stamp my Happy Halloween in the center. Like so. And let's bring in my where did I put it? You guys should see my desk, it's terrible. Here it is, Memento. Got lots of projects going at the one time, as you guys know. If you follow me, you know that that's usually the case. And we're just going to stamp these in Memento, just to add a little bit more spooky effect. And that lot of little bats, so cute. And I'm going to place that on the inside just with some liquid glue. So that is, again, very, very simple stamping. This card can be made really quickly and easily, really. And you could also use the stamp set instead of the DSP if you wanted to stamp your images and place them down as well. Okay. Let's focus on the front of the card. Now, in that DSP, I'm going to grab out those I haven't used one sheet. I've been using just the one sheet at the moment, so let's see if I can continue with that. I do need one of these hippos. I need a big tree. These come out really well, really easy. I need a crow. Pop him in the tree. And then what do we need? 3 bats. There's 3 bats up here. I'll grab those ones. So many good die cuts in this. Would make great scrapbooking paper as well. And then lastly, I've got 3 little candy corns. They're not candy canes, that's Christmas. So I need a single one and a double one. Candy corns. I did notice Australia had these out last year. It's the first time I've seen them in Australia. Okay. Let's bring in all our images. So very simple card because we're using those die cuts. The tree has a few little punch out pieces. We're going to pop them out. And because this is plastic, I'm not going to use my liquid glue. I'm going to grab, you could either use your glue dots or your tear and tape, and I think that's what I'm going to use. I'll use my tear and tape for this one. Oh, there's another little bit of cut out there. Let's get that one out. There we go. So plastic's one of those things that, you know, a lot of your adhesives do not work on very well. So just use what you have. Tape runner would probably work as well. I've been a bit rough and my tape's gone over the image, but the beauty of tear and tape is when it's over, you just push it back. Okay. Gonna add the tree just there. My bats, I'm actually going to have 2 bats using just the tear and tape. Actually, the mini glue dots would probably work better with this just because they're smaller. But I'll persevere because that's what I do. And we're definitely going to pop up one of these bats as well. just to give it a little bit more pop. So there's cauldrons. What else is in this pack? Witches' brooms. There's a little fairy which we'll be using on another project coming up in the next few weeks. What else do we have that you could choose from? Little potions, bottles, cauldron with green bubbling stuff coming out of it. It's pretty cool. Okay, let's move on to our two main images, so the hippo and the crow. Maybe it's not, I'm not sure. I'm going to call it a crow. We're going to pop some dimensionals on those, give it a little bit of pop-up. Crow is going to be popped up as well. We're going to pop him in the tree. So he looks like he's sort of flying into the tree, and then our bat. And I'm going to just cut one of those dimensionals down. I probably could have used my minis, but these ones are here. All right, so let's pop them ones down. So the hippo's getting into the sweets. He's got a little pumpkin full of sweets. Little mummy hippo. Pop him up. So cute. These are not spooky really at all. They're so super sweet. Not scary. Pop him down flying around in the tree. This one's actually facing a different way to that one. And the bat's going to be popped up as well. You could make quite a few cards just with these die cuts, which is amazing. Okay, we are going to add the single candy corn down. Like so. And then let's pop up the double. Oh, and look how that turned out. That is a sweet, sweet card. Lots of texture in the background. It's shiny and bright. Those iridescent treat bags are really beautiful. You really do have to back them with a white card though, just so it shows through, but those die cuts are amazing. And then a nice easy sentiment on the inside. So there we have it. That is day 2, week 1 of Halloween Spooktacular. I really hope that you've enjoyed today's card. I'll be back next week with both a card and a 3D project, so come back and join me for that. If you have enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. I would love it if you hit subscribe. Leave me a comment if you're watching this as a replay later on. I think that's it. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for spending a bit of time with me. Hope you're enjoying this series. It's just the start, but I'm so excited to share them with you each week. So yeah, I'll see you then. All right, everyone. Bye.